Yes, we are here to rank all of the Batman films, live action for now. I did not include the Ben Affleck films, which might piss some people off, but Ben Affleck never made a solo Batman movie. He was supposed to, and you can better believe I would have liked to have seen it. So I want to focus more so on the solo Batman films. So coming in at dead last, you can probably guess it's Batman 66. Yeah, I know people love Adam West as Batman, whether it has to do with the fact that he was the first Batman, anything that you watched. I just never got into it. I tried to give it a chance. I tried to see if I could appreciate it, and it's more of a me thing. I'm definitely hung up over how silly and goofy and how much I just can't take this seriously. I know you're not supposed to, but man, at number 8, Batman and Robin. Now, I will admit there is a part of me that can watch this movie and have some fun with it, whether we're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze and his puns and some of the really silly moments that are probably unintentionally funny. This is definitely a film that you can get drunk with and watch with a group of friends and just make fun of or have on in the background if you just want to make fun of something. But taking Batman serious, if we're trying to work that into the metric of how we're ranking this film, then Joel Schumacher be damned with the way Batman was treated, with the way a lot of these characters were treated. Poison Ivy, Barbara as Batgirl, how annoying Robin, Chris O'Donnell was, and Bane. God damn it, did they ruin Bane? Let's just go to number 7, Batman Forever, which almost surprises me how low this movie is on the list because growing up, I loved Batman Forever. I think if the little kid version of me ranked this movie, Batman Forever would be number 1 because I used to watch it all the time. It was a good balance if you're a kid of the silliness, but the darkness that is in there. I think Val Kilmer is a little underrated. I like the Chris O'Donnell, Dick Grayson origin. Jim Carrey as the Riddler is very fun. Tommy Lee Jones is pretty terrible. And I do think that when I rewatch it now, I notice a lot more of the movie's shortcoming. Batman Returns. And again, you almost expect this movie to be a little higher. This is another movie that I watched all the time as a kid and loved it. And I think Michael Keaton is great. I think Michelle Pfeiffer is amazing. Easily the best part of this film. And Danny DeVito has his redeeming qualities for sure. He's creepy, he's gross, he's what you would want from a villain in a Batman movie, but it is very much a Tim Burton film. It does deep a little more into the gothic like stuff that I think maybe real Batman stories are used to. I do like it. I do. I do like the blend. I still to this day have fun with it, but I admit it's a little cheesy with the army of penguins going through Gotham, threatening to blow up the place. Number 5, Batman 89. As a kid, I would not have put this above Batman Forever and Batman Returns. I enjoyed those sequels more, but the older I got, the more I got to appreciate Batman 89. This as far as the storytelling of introducing Batman to Gotham. I love the way that Jack Nicholson plays the Joker. I don't love the origin aspect of Joker's story in anything, but for here, it kind of works in a weird way. It kind of makes sense. And to see Jack Nicholson go from your typical gangster role to an insane madman who laughs and his bleached skin and just everything that he pulls off, I think Nicholson did go all out for it. I think Keaton was great too, given the fact that he was coming from almost only comedy that people knew him for, and so he had a lot to prove, and he succeeded. You have Vicky Vale. I think there's a lot more done right. Number 4, Dark Knight Rises. And I know people are already like, all right, F this, no effing way, because some people do not like Dark Knight Rises. Some people think Dark Knight Rises is just a bad movie. And okay, That's your opinion. But whenever I do watch this, I marvel in a lot of what Chris Nolan did. It's certainly not a perfect film. And I think having to follow the movie that it followed, sure, there was too much expectations. All of our hype was at a new level. Reinventing Bane, giving us a new Bane that actually makes most fans of the comic book Bane not mind the changes and not mind the new Bane, because that's how Tom Hardy was so memorable with the voice and his demeanor and how imposing he was when he just physically decimates Batman. Having Bruce Wayne not only go through his whole I'm coming out of retirement deal and getting over the death of his loved one, but he also gets his back broken. He also gets put in the pit of hell and he has to climb out. And I think this is something that's not talked about enough. Usually, when you get a Batman Bruce Wayne story, it's always revolving around his origin. And I get it, it makes sense. That's what creates him, that's what starts him on the path. It is the most interesting part of Bruce Wayne's story, but to have a story centered on Bruce having to overcome so much. At the beginning, it's mentally, the mental scars that Joker put him through. And then throughout this movie, it's the physicality of what Bane puts him through. That brings me to number 3, The Batman, the most recent installment in the Batman franchise. This is Robert Pattinson, hopefully proving people wrong with him being a brutal and intense and angry Batman for the majority of this film. But that's another thing. I love the idea that this is Batman's second year, so it's not as much about his origin as much as it's about Batman learning to be more than just vengeance. I think the Riddler being somewhat of a Zodiac killer type was a great direction to reinvent the character. Yes, we're used to the sillier side, but I thought that they brought the Riddler down, stripped him down to bare bones terrorists, using the internet for his fan following, and just so many things that I found fascinating. At number 2, Batman Begins, man. I know not a lot of people would put Batman Begins this high, but especially rewatching it fairly recently, I grow to appreciate this film almost every time I watch it. There's always something else that is so nuanced and so layered to Bruce Wayne as a character. As much as we get sick of seeing Bruce Wayne's origin, as much as we get sick of seeing his parents die, I still think that Batman Begins is the best version of that origin. I don't think there is a need to do Batman's origin because of how perfect it's done in this film. Obviously, Christian Bale is able to pull off every aspect of Bruce Wayne's persona, whether it's the billionaire playboy type or the brooding Batman type. I would argue that his Batman voice and even the Batman suit in this film might be the best out of anything that we've seen before. We got Michael Caine, we have Morgan Freeman, we have Katie Holmes, we have Cillian Murphy, who is in all 3 of the Dark Knight films, and I think he's great. For number 1, though, come on, you guys know what I'm going to have as the best Batman movie of all time. I still think that The Dark Knight is Batman's best movie of all time. I love that this whole story is basically Joker trying to get Batman to kill, trying to get Batman to become what he doesn't want to become. It's such a good story. It's such a good hero and villain dynamic and relationship. Heath Ledger as the Joker. Need I say more when it comes to Heath Ledger as the Joker? I don't know if we'll ever see not only a Joker performance, but even a villain performance that is crazier, manic, but also so intelligent and so controlled. It's so weird to have all of those different adjectives describe one guy, but that is how his Joker comes off. And then the downfall of Aaron Eckhart, Harvey Dent becoming Two-Face is still mesmerizing to watch. It's still tragic to watch, but everything about this movie, I feel like it works. Gary Oldman as Gordon and that end speech that just makes this movie next level, sets it apart from every superhero film. Not just Batman, but any comic book movie that I watch. This one feels legit. This one feels like cinema. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think are your favorite Batman movies. What are your rankings? What's your least favorite? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.